Does your truth change? It does. And I'm going to prove it to you. When you were 2 years old, you probably wore shoes about this big. That was your truth at that age. But your truth kept growing and changing as you grew and changed, right? So, yeah, our growth can bring new truths. We can outgrow truths. We can adopt new truths. Now, when you were being raised, you accepted truths from others that may not be your own. You just accepted them because you were a kid and you didn't know any better. So one of the things when I work with clients is I want you to think about for the next 2 weeks, what are your truths? And what did you borrow from someone else? So we can go to an extreme where, again, I'll use me as an example because I can speak on my behalf. Growing up, I was constantly fed, you're a freak, you shouldn't have been born, okay? So that was kind of my truth, though I was trying to not accept it as my truth, but I kept hearing it, and I kept seeing people's reactions to, that creepy kid Jan, that weird kid Jan. So I started believing that maybe I was the freak. Maybe I was the freak. So I was starting to accept and adopt my mother's belief of me. Well, that was her truth. It is not mine. It took me a long time to figure that out, but it's not mine. So your truth changes and grows with you. So you can believe in one thing and then realize later in life that taking a look at it is like, that's not me. That doesn't fit me. It makes me uncomfortable. It doesn't fit in my life. That's fine. Your truths can change and grow. This is why when I do videos, I say, these are my understandings, beliefs, and experiences as of now, because I'm constantly growing and changing. So my truths will adapt and morph and change, and I'll drop some along the way. That didn't fit me. That was an old truth. I have a better understanding now. So that's why I say, as of now. The same is when a client comes to me and is asking me about a project or situation. I can often say, okay, as of right now, that is going to take you down this particular path. The minute I say those words, they have free will. They can continue on that path or they can change it. Depends on what they want. They can change their truth, change their path. So one of my jobs, I consider one of my jobs, is to help people look at things with a different perception. Get out of their boxes. Because sometimes the stuff in those boxes aren't yours. You just gathered them through your life and just kept piling them into your box. Do you even know who you are? Or did you just make a compilation of what other people told you who you are? Their perceptions of you. Their truths. I think I was in my late 30s or 40s before I actually had an opinion on something for the house. I bought couches and dishes that other people liked or that were just practical, easy to maintain. I didn't have an opinion. I was raised not to have an opinion, unless it was the same as my mother's. So I was well into adulthood when it was like, you know what? I went to a thrift shop called, it's no longer here, but it was an upscale thrift shop. And I just stood there looking at these dishes and I'm like, oh my God, I love those dishes. And so my husband comes up and he goes, what are you looking at? These dishes. He goes, You like them? I do. He goes, you know that's China. Yeah. He said, so we're just going to buy them and get a China cabinet? No, I want to use them as everyday dishes. If I'm going to buy dishes, I'm going to use them. That's what we did. And it felt great. I was like, I didn't know that I could have an opinion about something utilitarian. Just starting to learn a little more about me. So, even in my 30s, we won't say how long ago that was. In my 30s, I was still learning about me. Who am I? What are my lights? What are my truths? And it's taken a lot of digging and self-examination, self-questioning. Do I like salads? Or did I get that from someone else? Do I like this? Or did I borrow that from someone else? And when it came to religion, which I don't begrudge anybody for their beliefs, I had to ask a lot of questions about that because, don't get me wrong, I'm a very spiritual person, very spiritual, with a side of sarcasm and snark. But I had some problems with some of the dictatorial rules in organized religions. And having some memories of that particular time period chafed me. So I had to do a lot of searching of what are my beliefs. So who are you really? And what are your beliefs? What are your truths? Happy discovering.